Oh, okay, guys. Welcome back. This is episode 4, The Killer Within from The Walking Dead Season 3. And I'm still trying to calm down after what was, in my opinion, and probably a lot of yours too, the greatest Walking Dead TV series episode of them all. This was an amazing episode. That's all I have to say for now, but like this is the greatest episode of the TV show. They took the show from being a good show in this episode, and they made it great. This episode was amazing. This episode rivals the episodes from Game of Thrones, in my opinion, that are sick. This show just took it just put itself on steroids and said, "We're awesome," and just you're not ready for season 3, and I was not ready for this. Okay, let's get right to it. Episode 4 review. We start off with some random dude, a male. We get enough of him to be able to tell he's a male, at least I did anyway. He's throwing rocks, and at first I thought he was just trying to trap and kill zombies quietly one by one or something. But he's actually, what did he do them for? He was distracting them. Oh, he was distracting them so he could open up the gates, and that's how the whole we'll get to later. And of course, you already know the zombies get in and cause a bit of a problem for everyone. Man, this was such a good episode, though. Let's move along quickly. There's so much to talk about. So first off, basically what this episode was the first half was kind of like Titanic, in that you had like the whole building the characters and creating this world and drawing you into it, like how Titanic for half the movie is, or 45 minutes, or 75% of the movie is just, getting involved with the characters in the ship. In the end, the ship's going to sink, and in The Walking Dead, in the end, many characters are going to die, but in that time, we still grow our relationships with the characters. So this episode, half of it was amazing. Like it was beautiful, but it was also very tense, because you knew that the whole episode was not going to be like this. There's going to be a turn, and there's going to be something bad happen. And one thing that Glen says just before the turn, which I think epitomizes my view of the episode, and how this utopia and this good day is going to come to an end. He says, "Can't we just?" Excuse me. He says, "Can't we just have one good day?" As he looks out and sees some zombies coming, he's like, "Wow, this life sucks." Okay, let's get back to where we were at. I just wanted to get that out of there, because that's very important to how this episode played out. So we had the two prisoners pleading for unity because they couldn't live in their cell block anymore, and Rick is steadfast. One thing that I thought was really interesting about this little dialogue was how T-Dog was standing up for himself. And he had an opinion that varied from the group, and no one backed him up on this. Daryl didn't even back him up. Carol didn't back him up. Glenn, Maggie, none of them backed him up. So he was on his own and giving his own opinion. So that was interesting. We'd never seen that before from T-Dog, and very few other characters stand up for their own opinion. It seems like everyone mostly disagrees with Rick for the most part. Oh, man, so many things to say. I want to take a drink of my Coke, but I can't, because I gotta keep this under 50 minutes. Okay. Next we go back and forth between Michonne and the governor and Rick's group through the whole episode, and we're probably gonna do that for most of the season. And not a whole lot happened there with Michonne and the governor, but all in all, there was a lot of tension, and you get to see the governor kind of working with Andrea to bring her, to make her feel more comfortable, or to lure her into the Woodbury community. Whereas Michonne, although he's trying to do that with Michonne, the governor, he's very he'll take her head off if it comes to it very quickly. And so it was pretty obvious from Michonne had this idea they were going to leave at the end of the episode, but obviously that wasn't going to happen, and they didn't in the end. But so I don't have anything else to say about Michonne and the governor. Maybe I'll have a little bit of stuff to talk about, but for the most part, the real action is happening in Rick's group, which is exciting, because that's where I think the most interesting stuff is. We get to see a thing with Herschel coming out with his crutches, and he's learning how to walk, and and get that going. Not really, not really. He's just useless. You know, I was trying to think of what he could do. He can't run. He can't fight. He can't. I was thinking if he could do farming in the future, but he can't really farm because he can't really bend down, get back up, sit there and pick berries or plant stuff. Like maybe he could crawl along, but he's just so like to lose an arm like Merle had is infinitely better than losing a leg in this world. Infinitely better. You'd be better off finding him a wheelchair, probably. Maybe not, actually. I don't even know. He's in big trouble. And so that's that. Herschel's useless. Can't run, can't fight. And yeah, then I put in my notes here that this episode, because at this part, I was writing these notes as I was watching the video, and I wrote this point. The episode is lulling me to sleep, but I know something's going to happen. And we get that moment where Rick, as you see in this picture, Rick and Daryl and Glen are on the perimeter of the property, separated by many fences, and then you get the rest of the group that were inside, and you get that awesome shot that was really well done for directing and cinematography or whatever you call it, where you get Rick like happily looking at Lori across the way, and you can tell like they're so happy, but they're so separate, and they're having this perfect moment, but like it's gonna come crashing down, and then you see. You know, they held it out. They drew it out longer than I thought. I thought it would be like a 5-second, like, oh, happy moment looking at each other across the fence. But it was like a 15-second. So it really played with you. And you're like, I don't know, is it going to be okay? Is it going to be okay? And then it wasn't. And all the zombies come in behind them. And you see Carl and Maggie and Lori popping off headshots everywhere. With Beth. Beth is one of my favorite characters in this show. Where was T-Dog? I think... Where was T-Dog at this point? I can't remember where T-Dog was at this point. I don't know where... I think T-Dog was with... Yeah, he was with Carol's group. Carol and Lori's group. He was not with these three that you see in this picture. So yeah, they're really good shooters. Give them that much. And Beth... I was really afraid Beth was going to get bit. Oh, I hate it when TV shows and movies, when they don't know what to do with a character, they just kill them. Like... They're like, well, we don't know what's going to happen with this character, and it'd be too complicated to involve them too much more. We don't have time for it, so we'll just kill them off. Well, I was glad they didn't do that with Beth, because I would like to see more of her, and hopefully we will now that there's less characters in the show, as we're going to get to right now. So T-Dog is closing off a fence, and he gets bitten from behind, and you see that shot before he gets bit of the zombie coming behind him, and you're like, no, T-Dog, turn around, and he doesn't turn around. And oh man, it just sucked. Took it right in the shoulder, up by your neck, where you got that muscular part there. Like there's no amputation for that. You're done. Oh, poor T-Dog. T-Dog is my favorite character I think left in the show at this point. Although admittedly I didn't have that great of a bond with him. It's not like I lost someone from Game of Thrones or something crazy like Khal Drogo or something. But still, I still really enjoyed him, and it was nice to see him at least for 4 episodes of this season actually get some talk time. So I think that might be a warning. If you see someone talking too much or talking abnormally large amounts, they're probably gonna die. Let's just keep that in mind. They're trying to attach you to the character before they kill them. And you can see that happens with the Walking Dead video game too. They kind of did the same thing with Carly and Duck and Katja. Mostly Duck and Carly, though. Andrea and Merle had a great talk about when she showed them the map and stuff, and that was really interesting. And we're going to see what happens with that whole situation, because obviously Merle wants to go out and find his brother, but like, what's the governor want? Like, and then they had this talk later on when the governor was popping off golf balls and stuff. That was pretty cool too. And because you got to see some interaction. We hadn't seen that interaction before between the governor and Merle, and it was very interesting, because you want to know if the governor, is he just gonna like what's he gonna do in the future here? Is he just gonna let Andrea and Michonne just walk out those doors and be like adios? No way. There's no way that's gonna happen. That would just kill this. That would kill the entire storyline for the governor. It's not gonna happen. I have no idea. I think Michonne's probably gonna die. But I really don't know. I have no idea what's going to happen. Somehow something's going to happen, and Andrea he's going to be working with the governor. That's the only thing I can think that would happen. That's that. We get to come back here, and Glen gets the zombie kill of the week, which he did by doing a forearm. It was like a slash head high. Took the zombie's top of his head off like Sanus Baratheon did in Blackwater Bay. Yeah. Man, oh my goodness. Then we got this episode. It's hitting like multiple climaxes on multiple different scenes. So then we got Laurie running through the hallways with Carl and Maggie, and she decides she's going to get pregnant. Well, she doesn't decide that, but it happens. Poor Laurie. So she starts to deliver the baby. She's like, wow. And I was really impressed to see Carl, just the way he was clearing hallways. Well, he didn't do any clearing, but he was being safe with his gun out in front, leading the troops, commanding them down hallways, saying, oh, no, back up, go down this hallway, go in this door, and they'll hide in here. Good job for Carl. Carl's getting big-time bonus points in this episode. He's taking initiative, which he already was doing, but now he's doing it within the bounds of being reasonable and not being a pig and a hog. Yeah. I just want to go back to the governor and shooting the golf ball thing for a second here. That was really cool. I just wanted to say that. And I was just wondering if he does that with if the rest of the townspeople get to do cool things like that. Because if they're really trying to build civilization, there needs to be fun things for the town to do. Like if each town person got to go up there and shoot a golf ball off, that'd be so much more fun than the governor popping off 40 or 50 of his shots by himself. That shot there just seemed to it seemed to like make a separation between the population and the governor. It made the governor seem like, I am better than these people, therefore I get to shoot all the golf balls that I made my men go collect. And when he hit the zombie in the head, after driving the golf ball, that was really unrealistic, and I didn't like that part. Moving on to the second page of my report. We're 12 minutes in. Let's keep it rolling here. My notes are pretty funny. I got big, huge words because I was like, what is happening? Okay. The birthing scene. Oh my goodness. This is the climax of the episode here. Or a climax of the episode. Let's actually switch pictures here. We're going to go and change it up for you guys because we're on the second page. Just ignore that funny little thing there. There you go. That's pretty good. We're switching on to Laurie time. Laurie had a great episode this great performance this episode. She really brought it. I was very impressed with her acting. Much like T-Dog really brought it in his last episode, Laurie brought it in hers. So when she was birthing in that mechanical room there, I was like, this is like, you just see when Maggie was like, we're gonna take your pants off, Laurie here, and Carl's just standing there, he's like, shocked face, he's like, what? Like, are you serious, Mom? Like, you're doing this right now, right here? Like, oh, it was so funny and bad at the same time. I was like, oh man, poor Carl. He's just standing there like, what is going on here, Mom? Okay, so that was that. I thought that was hilarious. And then we get a shot of the not the zombie. I thought it was a zombie baby, but it turned out not to be. We get the zombie. She's bleeding badly from her groin, and Maggie is like, something's wrong, and so I was immediately like, zombie baby, it's a zombie baby. Go take that thing out. This whole climax had me tripped. Like I thought it was either zombie baby dead or it was alive, and I wasn't sure if Laurie was gonna make it or not. And I was like, C-section. This is nuts. This is nuts. Before we go to the rest of this, we got to talk about T-Dog sacrifices himself to save Carol, which is too bad he didn't have a sword on because he could have actually survived. If he just stabbed him in the head and took some scratches and bites, but he actually just got like destroyed. So poor guy, man, poor guy. Oh man, we had a crazy scene there with. I keep on going. My notes are like written in complete chronological order, so I'm going back and forth between stories. So we got to go cover Andrea talking to the governor now and having that, I guess it was whiskey or something. Man, the governor was so creepy in that scene. Like, and it escalated too. Like, oh, the way they shot that and the way they scripted it. And the actor for the governor is brilliant, whoever he is. This is hopefully will be a breakout performance for him to do other work beyond this, however long this lasts for. But he had a really, like, I'm sitting there and I'm like, man, he's so nice, but he's so scary, and he's so, like, hospitable, but yet he's so dark. It was just giving me the shivers, and I was like, oh man, he's so nice but evil. Oh, it's like the worst kind of evil. Yeah. So then we go back. Now we're going, before we go back to Lori again, we're going to go to Rick's group, who is trying to get the power off because somebody who was the guy at the start of the episode turned the alarm on, which drew like dozens of walkers through the prison and, and all those things. I don't know how they got all the way through the prison. That would seem a little unrealistic, but anyway. And so they get into the generator room, I guess you could call it, or electrical room. And Andrew is in there, who I know that they didn't do a good job introducing the names for these characters, so I just think of him as the little black guy, but I looked him up online, and his name's Andrew, and he survived somehow. Because if you remember from episode 2? I think it was 2. Yeah, I think it was 2. I can't remember for sure, but you'll know. He locked him outside with that pack of zombies in what looked to be a completely caged off area, but somehow he escaped. And you heard him screaming, and it sounded like he was eaten to death. But somehow he survived. I don't understand. Without getting scratched or anything, he made it out of there. I guess I should have kept that a possibility, but... So I guess that answers the question from last episode. Maybe it was 2 episodes ago, when Carol was doing that practice C-section on the zombie, which she ultimately didn't need to know how to do because she wasn't there when the pregnancy started to happen. But that person that was watching Carol perform the surgery, I thought it might be Lily Call, but unfortunately it doesn't seem like it's going to be her. It was apparently it was Andrew. So the medium-sized black guy then, whose name is, so you know for the future, is Oscar, which I think is a stupid name for a black person, but his name's Oscar. I thought that might be the name of the other guy, but that's his name, Oscar. And so he comes to rescue and he shoots Andrew. And so that's the end of Andrew. Now he's officially dead. No need for any more confirmation on that. 18 minutes in. Okay, let's got to keep this going here, guys. Sorry for the squeaks. Okay, we got to get ready for the pregnancy stuff now. Okay, I was like, man, this pregnancy is messed up. So Lori is lying on her back on the ground. Maggie, who has very limited training in this, and Carl, her son, her only son, is watching her mom give birth. And oh man, and then she's like hemorrhaging and like bleeding out, and like she's like having this moment with Carl, and Maggie put on a performance in this episode too. Don't underestimate her acting. It was superb as well. She was really good. And man, what a climax. So basically what happens is, Lori just says, okay, this baby is not coming out. She says, cut me open along the C-section line. Carl does that. Carl doesn't cut his mom. I don't think so. No. I don't know, does he? I don't remember actually. Post in the comments what you remember about that, because I can't quite remember if it was Carl or Maggie that cut Lori's C-section scar there. Man, that was... So then they cut her. She passes out. I didn't think she was actually going to die at first. I wasn't really sure. And then they pulled the baby out. And man, I was like, it's a zombie baby. It's a zombie baby. It's a zombie baby. But turns out it wasn't a zombie baby. Could you imagine if it had been a zombie baby and like Lori had died giving birth to a zombie baby and the baby's just in Maggie's arms going, that would have been nuts. That would have been insane. Oh, I thought the baby scene was actually really realistic. Sometimes you watch TV shows or movies and you're like, man, that baby looks like it's like 3 months old already. Like this, but this baby was covered in, baby gunk. It was well done. I was impressed. So the baby's alive. It's not a zombie. It survived. Maggie did a great job delivering it. Carl shoots his mom. Man, this episode with the whole Carl shooting his mom and the pregnancy scene, that was like the Walking Dead game where you got to make these tough decisions. Like, oh man, that was intense. So I think that's all I have to say about the pregnancy. I've got one more question for you guys, and that is, answer this in the questions below if you watch this whole episode. And if you did watch this whole episode, you're awesome. Go watch some other videos on YouTube too about The Walking Dead and get a further perspective on it. But one more question for you guys, and that is, where is Carol? She never came to the final little gathering there that they had. That gathering was intense. And to think that Lori is now dead, T-Dog is dead, Carol is missing. We don't know how long she'll be missing for. I doubt it'll be a Sophia thing. I hope it's not a Sophia thing. That was a disaster. And but the thing about that whole scene with Maggie carrying the baby out with Carl and Rick going to meet them was just like, this isn't even Rick's kid. Like, this is Shane's kid. Oh man. And that's why I think the title is called Killer Within. Not only because of what's his name, Andrew, who was like the killer within the prison trying to do all this stuff. I think this is a foreshadowing because I think this not the zombie baby. I keep on saying zombie baby. Maybe it is a zombie baby, but I don't think it is, okay? I get so excited with zombie babies. But I think this baby of Lori's and Shane's is going to be a messed up kid. I think he's going to be a killer within. I think the killer within refers to Lori's womb. But that's just that's going to be many shows later where that will be come to fruition. But I don't know if they have that far planned out. But anyway, that's it. So where's Carol? That was a great episode, best episode of the whole shebang right there. I'm really looking forward to episode 5. I can't exactly remember what it's called. Maybe I'll go find out what it's called right here. Let's go find out what it's called, guys. This is on the wiki. It was called, the next one's called, Say the Word, Hounded, When the Dead Come Knocking. That sounds early. That's a great title. Made to Suffer. I don't know, is that the whole season? I'm not sure if it is or not. Okay, guys, thanks for watching. Sorry this is 23 minutes long. I'm a terrible person, but that was a great episode. Have a good one. Post in the comments below. Peace.